Roses are probably one of those flowers that almost everyone loves, but when it comes to painting them, they can feel intimidating. There are so many petals, so many layers, and somehow every time when we try to paint it, either it starts looking like a cabbage or just a blob of color. Isn't it that something happened with me as well? So in today's video, I'm going to show you a really simple and beginner friendly way of painting roses without worrying about painting every single petal. Hi, I'm Madhura, watercolor artist and interior designer, and someone who deeply loves painting flowers. Okay, before we start in, let's just understand the supplies we are going to use. So I have these three brushes here. Then I'll be using some watercolor pencils, a brush pen, then I have a paper which is 270 GSM. I tried to cut it into a 10 by 10 or 8 by 8 sheet. Let's start by taking our quinacridone rose now. And along with this quinacridone rose, we are going to take a little bit of Indian yellow and mix a lot of quinacridone rose along with little bit of Indian yellow. I'm going to start with a very light wash of color, and this is really important. Don't start with your darkest color but with your light tone, and we will build the rose gradually. Now, I'm trying to paint the outer petals, leaving some areas completely white because those in between spaces are going to be our highlight. And notice that I'm not trying to make it perfect. The first layer is just about creating that overall shape. Now I'm going towards the inner side and drop in slightly darker tone of the color. Let's follow the same process for our second flower. I'm trying to make the outer shape first and then eventually we'll go towards the inner side. One thing which is really important is to make sure that we are not making everything perfect and carbon copy of each other. Okay. Now we are going to again take the same color and paint the flower in slightly different perspective. So I'm painting those petals first and then give it a cup shape. The painting some thinner strokes, going for the darker tone, and I'll just complete it by putting some tonal variation. Now I'll take a bit of green and we'll start painting the leaves for this flower. Make sure your base layer of the rose isn't completely dry state, right? When we see a rose, our brain immediately sees the dozens of petals, isn't it? But we actually don't need to paint all of them. The easiest way to paint rose is to simplify what we see. Think of rose as a series of curved shape wrapping around a small center. And the center is actually darker. As we move outside of this flower, the petals are more open, right? So let's concentrate back on the leaves. So I'm just trying to make few simple leaf shapes with my round brush. Like this. I think I should add a bird also. This. Okay, as I mentioned that it's all about the dark center and the curved strokes around that, right? So we'll try and build the same thing. Keep in mind the dark center and curved strokes around it. So instead of making it complex and thinking like, oh my god, I need to paint so many strokes, Think like small curves in the center, large curves around them, and some loose strokes out. That little change in way you look at the flower makes a lot of difference. So as you can see, I'm going for the darkest tone for the center part of my flower. And now to make those, curves little more prominent, I'm using my round brush, and with these thin strokes, I'm just trying to make those strokes little more prominent. And then I'll go for that curved or different perspective flower, painting the center part and just making those curves little prominent. Okay, now let's connect those buds to the flower and add little bit of detail to our leaves. So I'm taking slightly darker consistency of green and just adding those pens. Like that. And your rose composition is almost done. I'm just trying to add few crooked lines. Like this. Just adding little bit of details. And now I'm just trying to make the other part also darker. That shows, the other slightly more bloom flower. And now we'll take our color pencils and just highlight those curves little bit more. I'm referring it as curves, but yeah, of course, they are petals, but just trying to, add those details. We are almost done, and I'm just going with my brush pen to add the border to my paper, and this could look like a beautiful greeting card or postcard that you can send to someone. There we have our little watercolor rose. I hope this showed you that painting rose doesn't have to mean painting every single petal. If you painted along with me, I would absolutely see your roses. You can tag me on Instagram @ Madhura so that I can see what you created. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel because I have a lot more tutorials coming on your way. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.